What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great day today. I'm having a fantastic day so far. Not really, but we're going to pretend like I'm having a fantastic day so far. It's about to get better, though, because I got a good show for you guys today. I'm waiting on Russo and I'm waiting on Angry Viking, but it's okay because I got a clip that I want you guys to watch or really just hear. I want you to listen to it. And before we share this clip, I need all of you guys, if you're on my Facebook right now watching this, or you're on your Facebook watching this right now, if you can, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, switch over to the YouTube, because Facebook's been doing some real hard censorship of me, and it's okay. I'm not worried about it. But if you can, please go over to my YouTube, Cash Kelly the Streetlight. We're streaming it live there as well, okay? And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube page. Like, share, ring the bell icon so that you never miss another upload, another live, and I can keep you up to date with what's going on. That's really where I'm going to be doing all of my streaming from, all right? And a lot of you guys are asking, who's Angry Viking? He's a brother in the fight. He's a great guy. He's a patriot, just like us, all right? He's a part of the family, part of the squad. If you haven't already, though, I need you guys, please, switch over to the YouTube. Go to YouTube and watch me there, okay? And that's Angry Viking right there. I'm going to send him another link while I let you guys listen to this clip, all right? So let me go ahead and pull it up. Check this out. Listen, all right? I need you guys to listen to it.
Donald Trump is a self-made billionaire and has been an icon in American culture for decades. He is somewhat of an anomaly because he is known as the blue-collar billionaire with many friends in the African-American community and has often fought out and spoke out against political injustices against Black people. This is very uncommon for most billionaires. The Trump brand was loved by all. However, his political ambitions for the United States presidency made him a target for the elite, particularly because he resisted the growing trends of globalism and the New World Order. Often those who were targeted by the New World Order went to Trump for protection and support. Immediately following his announcement that he will be running for the presidency, the elite and the media establishment unleashed a vicious attack against Trump in an attempt to program the public that he was a racist, because the Black vote is a major factor in presidential politics. The purpose of this video is to expose the truth and to provide for all Americans 100% proof that Donald Trump is not a racist. If after watching this video, you still believe that Donald Trump is a racist, I will be praying for your mental health.
I want to bring forth a friend who has, well, he is deceptive in that his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness, and his commitment for their success is beyond argument. When we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. And beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. And so aside from all of his style and his pizzazz, he's a serious person who's an effective builder of building for the builder people. Last year, he was a part of our workshop, of our panel workshop on what are the challenges and opportunities. And so this, a year later, Donald Trump, for a few minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are Black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is Black and minority folks. So I just want to thank everybody in the room for being here. I look forward to some questions. And then I don't know how we're ever going to leave this building today, because if you look outside, it is terrible. But we'll figure a way. There's always a way. And thank you, Jesse, and congratulations.
And it angers me, because then you say, why is there poverty? Why is there no education in Harlem? Why are the schools so bad? Why is there no housing? When you put a tax on Japan for the products that they're selling, you will bring in hundreds of billions of dollars to this country, which can go to rebuilding our inner cities. Instead of giving Japan free military defense, you bring in hundreds of billions of dollars, which money can go toward the inner city, toward education. I am a huge believer. I'm very well educated, and I'm a huge believer in education, an unbelievable believer in education. But one of the things you need for education is money. We have a country that's losing $140 billion a year at a minimum. I think it's much more than that, by the way, but at a minimum. It's tough to build housing for people. It's tough to educate people when you're losing $140 to $200 billion a year.
Your father was there a lawsuit? You didn't have enough he didn't have enough blacks in his project. There were blacks in his housing development, but the federal government, and that upset you.
I didn't like it because it wasn't fact, and I decided to fight it. And this was a lawsuit against numerous landlords in New York many, many years ago, and I didn't like it because it wasn't true. In fact, in one building they went, and there was a preponderance of blacks as opposed to whites. And I remember being asked a question. The question was asked of our people, how many blacks do you have? And we said some huge number, like 70% or 65%, and they almost fell off the chair. Here they are suing us, and we're saying a certain number. We've never discriminated. We don't believe in it. And I just thought on a principle ground I should fight. And other landlords didn't.
Okay.
And we settled, and it worked out very well.
I just think there's a tremendous lack of spirit, and I think the spirit has to be brought back.
You have a vice presidential candidate in mind?
Well, I really haven't gotten quite there yet.
It's just
Oprah. I love Oprah. Oprah would always be my first choice.
Oprah.
Oprah, your competitor, right?
Oprah's a competitor.
You know what?
No
I'll tell you, she's really a great woman. She is a terrific woman. She's somebody that's very special. I have not even thought about it. I guess we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that's part of the whole process.
Would she be kidding aside, that you might think
if
about?
she'd do it, she'd be fantastic. I mean, she's popular. She's brilliant. She's a wonderful woman. I mean, if she'd ever do it, I don't know that she'd ever do it. She's got.
You'd ask her.
She'd be sort of like me. I mean, I have a lot of things going. She's got a lot of things going.
What a ticket
in terms of that would be a pretty good ticket. But she's a very exceptional woman.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. They see that the whites are so evenly divided that every time they vote, the race is so close, they have to go back and count the votes all over again. And which means that any block, any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You can keep Johnson in Washington, D.C., or you can send him back to his Texas cotton patch. You're the one who put the present Democratic administration in Washington, D.C. The whites were evenly divided. It was the fact that you threw 80% of your votes behind the Democrats that put the Democrats in the White House. When you see this, you can see that the Negro vote is the key factor. And despite the fact that you are in a position to be the determining factor, what do you get out of it? The Democrats have been in Washington, D.C. only because of the Negro vote. They've been down there 4 years. And all other legislation they wanted to bring up, they've brought it up and gotten it out of the way, and now they bring up you. And now they bring up you. You put them first and they put you last. Because you're a chump. A political chump. In Washington, D.C., in the House of Representatives, there are 257 who are Democrats. Only 177 are Republicans. In the Senate, there are 67 Democrats. Only 33 are Republicans. The party that you backed controls 2/3 of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and still they can't keep their promise to you because you're a chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around continuing to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race.
Well, you've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly the people you want in your party.
How would you characterize, to put this to rest, how would you characterize in more words than one, David Duke?
David Duke is a bad person who I disavowed on numerous occasions over the years, but I disavowed him. I disavowed him. I disavowed the KKK. I just did the Today Show, and it was the same thing. And I said, how many times do I have to disavow? Do you want me to do it again for the 12th time?
Well, I wanted it on the record on this show. Let me follow up, and then I'll open it up to the table.
Just to put it clear, I disavowed him in the past, and I disavow him now.
What are your views on the Ku Klux Klan and white supremacists?
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke. I've been doing it now for 2 weeks. You're probably about the 18th person that's asked me the question. It was very clear. That question was also talked about in the form of groups. I want to know, which groups are you talking about? You have to tell me which groups. Ultimately, he got to the Ku Klux Klan, which obviously I'm going to disavow. And by the way, if you look on my Twitter account, almost immediately after the program, they were disavowed again. How many times do I have to reject? I've rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. From the time I'm 5 years old, I rejected them. I put it on Twitter last week. How many times? You know, it's an amazing thing with Twitter. I have 6 million, more than 6 million, and I have another 6 million with Facebook. I have like 13 or almost 14 million with Instagram. When I put out a minor message, everybody picks it up. Donald Trump just tweeted something very unimportant. Let me just explain. When I put out that I reject the KKK and David Duke, nobody picks it up. You know why they're not? Because they don't want to pick it up. They pick it up. You pick it up. Everyone else picks it up. You saw simultaneously, practically at the same time. They don't want to pick it up. Now, I have been asked this question so many times. I have rejected it so many times. We are one people, and we share one faith. Whether we are black or brown or white, we all bleed the same red blood. We all salute the same great American flag. And we are all made by the same Almighty God. No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Tonight, I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future. The inner cities of our country have been run by the Democratic Party for more than 50 years. Their policies have produced only poverty, joblessness, failing schools, and broken homes. It's time to hold Democratic politicians accountable for what they have done to these communities. At what point do we say enough? It's time to get our country back to work, and that includes an all-out effort to help young African Americans get the good-paying jobs that they deserve. Today, I want to talk about how to grow the African American middle class and to provide a new deal for Black America. That deal is grounded in 3 promises: safe communities, great education, and high-paying jobs. My vision rests on a principle that has defined this campaign right from the beginning, and you've seen where we've come from and where we are right now. It's called America First. Every African American citizen in this country is entitled to a government that puts their jobs, wages, and security first. One of the greatest betrayals has been the issue of immigration. Illegal immigration violates the civil rights of African Americans. That's what's been happening. No group has been more economically harmed by decades of illegal immigration than low-income African American workers. I will also propose tax holidays for inner-city investment, a new tax incentive to get foreign companies to relocate in blighted American neighborhoods, and they will do that. It will be worthwhile. It's called incentive. They will do it. I am very humbled beyond words to be the nominee of the party of Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people don't know that. It's the party of Abraham Lincoln. And it is my highest and greatest hope that the Republican Party can be the home in the future and forevermore for African Americans and the African American.
Welcome, my brother, Angry Viking.
What's up, brother? How you doing today?
Bro, did you watch that? Did you watch that?
Man, listen, so if you don't mind me, I want to touch on something real quick that is kind of going on right now. I saw it earlier today and I touched on my show, and I find it absolutely hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious. It's actually a travesty because people don't do research, and they just, if you say it and it's true, and that's why I say one of my titles of one of my shows was "How Come Biden Doesn't Need to Be Fact Checked." Okay, so he was at one of his little town hall meetings. In this town hall meeting, he said that he said that Trump was taking credit for the economy, and he shouldn't be doing that because he was basically handed this golden football at the 1-yard line from Obama and ran it into the end zone. And let me listen. You know me, man. I'm big over facts on feelings. So the first thing that I did was I started researching. I just wanted to know. I knew his economic policies were what had actually helped the lower income Hispanic, Asian, Indian, and Black communities. And so I actually wanted to do some research on it. Can I hit you with some numbers?
Go for it, bro.
Let me talk to you about this. In the last 50 years under Trump's economy, in the last 50 years, now mind you, that includes under the 8 years under the Obama. Mm-hmm. For the first time in the last 50 years, the median household income rose 46%. That was roughly a little bit over $4,200 a year. Okay, to most people that doesn't sound like that a lot, but that was over that hasn't been done in 50 years, folks. Okay, now let me hit you with some statistics. Statistically speaking, African Americans in this country are making 7.9% more income. It's never been done. What these numbers I'm about to hit you with have never in the history of this country happened for the lower. Now, mind you, this is for lower income African American, Indian, and Asian communities. 7.9% for African American, 7.1% for the Hispanic community, and 7.4% for the Indian community. Mm-hmm. So please, again, I want someone to explain to me. If the economy, if Trump hates the Black community so much, if Trump is this racist that he didn't seem to be until he became president of the United States, because, I mean, I got tons of pictures of Snoop Dogg, Busta Rhymes, all these people who are saying he's racist that shook his hand and loved him as long as they could get that money. But now that he's the president, he doesn't take handouts. Suddenly he's this racist. How in the world, if he hates the Black community so much? I'm not even going to touch on what he's done for Black colleges. I'm not even going to get into that right now because he did that for the next 10 years, knowing that he might lose the election. He still did something like that. So if he hates the Black community so much, why in the world has over the last almost 4 years has he worked harder than any president, including Obama? And if I'm wrong, which I'm not, because I literally just researched.
You're definitely not.
Including Obama, Why would he work so hard to help these communities out? And I want to touch on something you saw in the video there where he said where he was getting a holiday. Giving a holiday, what he does is, see, the way the Democrats or the Biden, for example, is they're trying to twist that as they're giving tax cuts to large corporations. They leave out the part where these large corporations are going to move into minority areas where the lower income families will now have jobs that will allow them to get into the upper middle class, possibly six-figure digit incomes, because of these companies moving into the hundreds of millions of dollars these companies will pour into those communities. And what happens when we put that kind of money into communities? What happens? The crime rate plummets. You know why the crime rate plummets? It's because the disenfranchised men and women in those areas no longer feel disenfranchised because they have opportunities to work and earn. So then the drugs dry up, the crime goes away. And I'm not saying it doesn't disappear, but I'm saying it goes from being an 80% murder rate on black crime to 20, 30%. And it seems like that almost happens overnight. So for those out there that are, detractors of myself and of Cash Kelly and of the conservative preacher, please, I would love for it to be explained to me is, how is he this racist? How is he this hate monger? And please don't use the whole, we call Mexicans rapists and murderers.
I can show the clip that is false. He was not talking about Mexicans. He was talking about a gang.
Talking about MS-13. Yes. And their argument to that is, well, MS-13 isn't Mexican. MS-13, yeah, exactly. They what they do is they try to track it back to the very beginning. They're Venezuelan, and I'm like, listen, you're nitpicking stuff. The bottom line is he didn't say it about a people.
They're Honduran,
right?
They're Mexican,
right.
They're Puerto Rican,
right?
Whatever Latin that there is in California,
right?
But the ones that were part of the cartel were from Mexico. Right. That was shown during the Bush administration. Right. Bush was even talking about MS-13. People forget all these things. Barack Obama was talking about MS-13. So, and Barack Obama started the wall. He's the one that manufactured the cages that they talk about down there for immigration. They were all for it then. When Obama spoke about immigration, it was no problem. Nobody said anything. And he's literally said the exact same words as Donald Trump. But people forget that. Yeah. Because it's coming from Trump, who they've deemed a racist, a bigot, and a misogynist.
He hates everyone. If they don't have a wiener and they're of different color, man, he hates them. I mean, that's what the left wants you to. They want you to believe that this man is. When he steps away from the podium, he throws on a white hood, and rides off on a horse to go burn crosses somewhere. I mean, that's literally the way they try to paint this man.
Dispelled all of it.
You know what I mean?
That whole video. That's why I'm so glad. I got to go back and look at her name that sent it to me. Sent me that video last night, and I watched it, and I was just shocked. I'm like, wow. Where has this video been my whole life? I don't even got to argue no more. Now I'll just share that video. I'll send that video, and it's from his mouth. When they're like, oh, he supported the KKK and all. He disavowed not only the KKK, but any white supremacist group. Disconnected himself from them. His whole career, even said, as a child, I disavowed them. I never believed in that. Never. And he's done nothing but help. You see Jesse Jackson giving him the floor. Him being best friends with Oprah before she was who she is today. Right. You know what I'm saying? Loving Oprah, even thinking about making her his VP. Things like that. I mean, come on. It's insane.
Well,
it's insane.
You're right. But see, the thing is that's the thing is people don't want to hear facts nowadays. You know why? Because they don't want to have any kind of self-accountability. The bottom line is, as long as they're able to believe a lie, if they could keep somehow manufacturing a lie and believing it and making it their reality, they do not have to face facts. That they are their own worst enemy, that they have created the reality that they're currently living in. No one's oppressing them. No one's holding them down. No one's putting a gun to their head and say, hey, go out there, drop out of school, sell drugs, do dope, get pregnant at 12, whatever the case may be. That created the lifestyle that they're in right now is no one else's fault but their own. I mean, it was you and I came from the streets. You know exactly as well as I could. We could have completely taken a different path. Different path. We chose to change that direction. The problem is the people that are so ardent supporters of the left, and I'm not saying it's just lower class at all. That's not what I'm saying. But the ones that I see out here, pushing these false narratives really hard, especially on like social media platforms, they generally have no clue about facts. It literally is an emotional reaction. It's, I don't like, why don't you like them? Tell me one thing bad that this, well, he said that all Mexicans are rapists. Nope.
But then, you know what? You know what's so funny? You know what's funny about this is we can show stuff with Biden saying things, right? And then they'll fact check you. But when they say things about Trump, they don't fact check them with his entire speech.
Exactly.
And say, well, no, he didn't say that. This is what he said. And that lets you know right then and there that fact checkers is a bunch of BS ran by a bunch of far left people who have an agenda. Fact checkers is not fact checkers. It's not really what it is. It's just a name. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So going in, like, okay, so there's a couple things that I wanted to touch on today, man. This is going to be a power-packed Breaking the Barrier show today. All right,
let's do it.
I let off, and people are asking me right now in the comments. Your comments are going by quick, you guys. If you want me to see your comments, super chat, and that's only via YouTube. So if you're not watching on YouTube, I strongly urge you to switch over to the YouTube and then hit me there. But beyond that, I wanted to talk about something else. That all this stuff we're talking about the far left. What's going on right now? Do you remember when Barack Obama was in office, and then the judge was gone?
Yes.
And they had to appoint a new judge.
Yes.
And people were talking crazy. And Obama was like, look, it's American duty. It's the duty of the president to appoint another judge, right?
Right.
Now that this, rest in peace to the lady that just passed away, they're saying her dying wish was to wait until the new president is in the office and then pick the next judge, right?
Mm-hmm.
The same president, Barack Obama, the same one that said, no, it's the duty of the president to appoint a new one, is now saying we should wait. And then all these people from the left are saying, oh, we should wait because it was her dying wish. Politics is a very different world. You can't, just because you have a dying wish doesn't mean that it has to be honored. First off, it doesn't mean that you go against the American way that we have set in place just because she wants to wait and hope to God that Biden gets elected to a point. They just don't want another Republican.
Right. Can I ask a quick question before? Where in the Constitution is there a dying wish declaration?
There's not.
There's not.
Hold on. There's that feeling?
So what you're saying is AOC over there? She's crying on her Instagram talking about Donald Trump.
That's exactly what I was going to show.
So you're saying that there is no such thing as a dying wish declaration, that when a justice dies, that we have to honor their wish?
No, I didn't know. I thought that there was.
You're
all the
kidding.
stuff that I've been watching on Instagram and on Twitter and on YouTube and on Facebook, I would think that there was actually an amendment.
Well,
in the Constitution, but there's not.
That's an emotional thing. It's not an
it's
actual
an emotional thing. It's
wow.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. Who'd have thunk?
Well, you know what? You want to know something? You want to know something interesting? This is something I actually looked up today. Well, a couple of days after RGB died. So in the history of the presidency, there's been 29 times that a justice has died on an election year. Okay, I'm about to hit you. Listen, I'm about to drop some knowledge on. I'm about to hit him with some facts, brother. There's been, in the election year, there's been 29 justices, Supreme Court justices, that have died. Okay. Mm-hmm. Of those 29, 10 have been Republican. 19 have been Republican, 10 have been Democrat. Okay. Whenever they were, it was a Republican Senate, they voted their Republican in. When it was a Democratic Senate, they voted theirs in. That's neutral every time. However, on the times where it has been the opposite, so you have a Republican president in office and a Democratic Senate, or a vice versa, okay? Right. Of the 9 times that has happened, twice has the Senate actually elected or nominated the Supreme Court justice. Twice. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is actually because Ted Cruz was talking about this today, and he says that is an absolute travesty that happens, because what they're actually doing when you're blocking this happened on both Republican and Democratic sides. So I'm calling out both on this.
Definitely.
When you block the appointment of a Supreme Court justice, you are putting a brakes for however long it takes on the justice system in this country, because laws are made, cases are made, people might be waiting in jail to have sentences commuted, and because you don't like a party, you're choosing not to push that party. Even though the person might be highly qualified, might be middle of the road, might say, sometimes they are conservative and sometimes wouldn't matter. Unless they are 100% left or, 100% right, each party seems to have this problem. And I tell you right now, that when RGB died and McConnell came out and said, or AOC said, she was asked, do you think impeachment should be used? She says, well, we have all of our arrows and we'll use any we need to stop this from happening. They're actually, folks, listen, they are actually considering re-impeaching for a second time in one term this president because he wants to put a Supreme Court justice in her seat before the election.
Bro?
What's that, man? Talk to me.
It'll fail again.
It'll fail again. What do you want to impeach him on? Following the Constitution?
3 years, bro. Couldn't find nothing.
Well, it's not even nothing. They don't want to impeach him based off of anything other than the fact he wants to have a conservative Supreme Court justice in the seat. So it's literally you literally said AOC, and she said it's up to the higher ups.
Not hate. That's a strong word. You know what? I loathe. Loathe. I loathe AOC, bro.
She makes no sense. No
Did you hear her calling
for
people to be radical, to be on standby and be ready to be radical? Did you hear that?
Say that one more time.
She said, she was talking to the people yesterday. She said, I'm calling for everybody to be on standby because we don't know what's going to happen, but be on standby and be ready to be radical. Be ready to be radical. That's what she said. That's her words. Don't fact check me. Don't fact check me. But that's what she said, straight up. And I'm going to share that
surprised.
later.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I want to move over.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I want to talk about something, man. And I shared this last night, but I'm going to share it again because it's important. Right now, we have about 700 people watching us. All right. All together on all platforms.
Okay.
So I want this to be seen by everybody. If you haven't already, I can't stress this enough. Please share this video. All right. Please share this video. Go to YouTube as well. Follow me on YouTube because that's normally where I like to do my stuff from now on, man. And it's a big support to me because people utilize the super chat and it helps me. And I really need the help. I'm not going to lie. It's been, I've been doing a lot. So it's getting a little strenuous.
The travel expenses are
I'm
starting to mount up.
Man, and I got something in the works as well. I got hit up by Straka. He wants me to do a walkaway video and he's going to use it. I'm going to be helping some Republican lady. Yeah. Galvin. I'm going to be on her campaign. So that's really cool.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And yeah,
Cash making big moves in the house, man.
I'm trying. Also, guess what else is in the works?
What's that?
And you're about to, I meant to talk to you about this because you're going to be a part of it, obviously, because you're with me in all of this. The people that created Duck Dynasty, they want to do a show.
Come on.
I'm going to LA probably mid next month, to go to LA to sit down and talk with them about a pilot for a show about what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that's going on to be a reality show. You and I they'll probably move you out closer out here and pay your rent and all that stuff to have you closer. And yeah, we'll be.
Let's make it happen. Will I be Gucci? I mean, is that what you is?
Hell yeah!
Listen, I don't know if they want my country ass out there being Gucci, man.
We gonna be besties. I'm talking about, how we talking about the Avengers?
Hell yeah, brother. I love it, man.
Avengers.
I love it, brother. I love it.
All right, so yeah, I want to talk about this clip though that I'm about to share, you guys. It's got to do with first off, now we know that they disbanded the police. They literally abolished the police over there, and was Minneapolis.
Yeah, I think it was Minneapolis. Yeah,
Minneapolis. They abolished the police, right? Because they said that the police were out there killing people all across America and saying all this crazy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's messed up. But now, there's been 17 murders. 17 murders of people under the age of 18. People are being extorted. Not even allowed to leave their garage.
Shocking.
Extorted. People are driving around in stolen cars, stealing cars. Carjackings are up like a motherfucker. And it's all types of craziness going. It's like chaos, right? It's like a criminals. It reminds me of Gotham City, And they talk about white supremacy. White supremacy, talk about Hitler. What did Hitler do? He owned the media and he did away with the police, right? And to me, that is like a white supremacist, black supremacist utopia over there right now. You ain't got nobody to come and save you. Oh my goodness.
Just wild, wild west.
It's a wild, wild west. And this all happened because of a couple criminals that got killed by the police because they messed up, right? And remember, it was all over the news, all over. Every time a black guy got killed by the police, it's all over the news, right? But guess what they don't put on the news?
What's that? Uh-oh, you about to hit him with... Oh, no, I watched this yesterday. Are you about to hit him with facts of police officers being killed? Oh.
This number 43. You want to know what this number represents? This number represents the number of law enforcement officers that have been killed thus far in 2020. 43 law enforcement officers that have been killed thus far in 2020, over 40% more than in the same period in 2019. 8 categorized as premeditated murder. 2 were a victim of unprovoked attacks.
Who's being exterminated?
8 fatal shots were fired at point blank range, 0 to 5 feet from the officer. 8 shot in the front of the head, 2 from the back of the head, 6 in the neck, 9 in the chest. This is 43 law enforcement officers that have lost their lives.
Are you guys hearing this right now? Or
no, it's froze. It's froze on my end too.
No, I know I froze it right now because somebody said that there was no sound.
No, I heard it perfect.
Okay. We got Anthony B. the Change Russo in the house. I'm gonna go ahead and
look at this guy. Look at this guy. What's up, Anthony?
What's up?
All
Hey,
right.
look at that good-looking microphone you got there.
Man, you know what? A fan sent this shit to me, man.
That's amazing.
Dude, I come home last night and there's this big box and I'm thinking it's a damn bomb. I'm not lying to you. My wife was like, do you think we should touch that?
I stopped it, guys. I'm sorry, everybody in the comments.
She was like, do you think we should touch that? I mean, you're not really that popular right now. I was like, you know what? I shook it, smelled it. I was like, it's safe. I'm a bomb. It's safe. I opened it up, and man, his name is Dwayne. He's one of my admins on another thing. I guess he was getting tired of my crackling piece of and I was thinking, he said, because Dale told me he was going to send me a mic, but I was thinking, little head, little something. I come
It's
out
not
with
frozen. It's not frozen, guys. I'm sorry. I muted it real quick.
I come up with this, and I'm like, damn, man, I feel like a professional. I feel like I'm a Hodge twin over here, the real deal.
I sent you one last week, so you're gonna have.
Did you send me one? Oh
yeah.
My God! Good Lord! Oh man!
You're gonna have another one coming in tomorrow, prior.
Sounds good, man. I'll be like lined up. Look at this. See, we're all professionals over here. Well, I appreciate Anthony. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
No problem. I thought that was mine. I was making jokes on your video last night, like, "Oh, nice microphone, big dog." And I realized you got another one from somebody else. Cash, what you look confused? Are you okay, buddy?
I think he's freezing up a little bit.
He's having some internet issues. I've been on call, so I've not been able to know what you guys are talking about, but I know what video you have next to you right now. Cash, you all right? I think Cash is having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think he's getting jammed up.
Are we here? You guys here?
Yeah, we're here, but you're like frozen on our side.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. But
we can hear you, but you're frozen.
I don't know what the hell is going on right now, but it's tripping me out. My side, it's like chaos.
Yeah, it's
a little glitchy on our end too.
Yeah, and it got shut down. The feed got shut down on our YouTube side. So it's like, I think it's something to do with StreamYard.
Okay, I think so too. But let's see if we can get this thing to go. Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys real quick, and I'm gonna pull the screen back up. All right.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell going on. Okay. Think we're going good. I think we're all right here. Check. I don't know what the hell just happened. Freaked me out. Everybody sounded like robots. It was bad. 1 sec. Anthony made me get the best internet. It's not the best internet.
I don't think it's good. I think it's because you're playing that video. You probably have to restart something. Oh, now I hear myself twice.
That's weird.
YouTube does not like you today.
It does. I'm going to close this out and pull it back, guys. You guys go ahead and chat. I'll be right back. I'll make this.
Okay, bud.
Because I don't know what you guys were talking about before this, but I got to tell you about this call that I just had because
Let's do it.
I set up these. Really, you're killing me, Cash.
I heard you set up these calls. That's what I heard.
I set up these calls, and I have conversations to be on other people's podcasts, and some people to be on our shows, and sometimes political stuff comes up. And usually I can gracefully have the conversation and not scare people to death about my political beliefs. And I did not even really share with this one person. And you see my notes. The beginning was like, she's great. She's a victim's advocate. She is able to, she talks about resiliency instead of victim mentality. I'm like, oh, I dig her. I really like it.
Like it.
Oh, it changed so fast. So then she started talking more about certain stuff. And then I go, yeah, I talk political. And I say, but I'm a conservative. But the great part is the ability to have a conversation when people are educated and just knowing why people have different perspectives. And she was so incredibly passive aggressive, and it was rooted in her victimness. I'm like, and I wanted to be like, you're really mean. You're like one of the meanest human beings I've ever talked to. But she's like, no, I mean, yeah, I'm just more progressive, and that's how I am. It's nothing against other people. It's just I like to educate myself on actual truths and facts, and I understand why people can feel a certain way, but it's just I'm really big on making sure my research is correct. And I'm like, so I'm super confused because you just said only progressives judge other people, because I brought up my typical thing, like conservatives get mad at liberal politicians. Liberals get mad at conservatives that follow. They get mad at other people.
Right.
Like, yeah, I see that. And she was actually doing that herself. It was mind boggling. And then near the end, she brought up Trump, and she talked about her own father. She's like, my father was abusive to me. And that's exactly the way that I feel that Trump treats the whole country. And I was like, I get you. I see that you have a lot of anger and frustration built up. And then she said, and the whole country, feels that way. And I go, no, half does. Half. She's like, no, well, half does, and then half is going through Stockholm syndrome, and they have a friend-buddy relationship and all these different things. And I was like, okay, no,
this got weird.
All right.
Hold on, I'm about to finish up. I'm like, either you're right. That means that either only you think you are right, or everybody else is delusional that doesn't feel the same way. I go, do you realize how unproductive of a conversation that becomes? And she goes, that's Stockholm syndrome. I said, no. That is, but what you're doing is called projection, which is what a lot of what happens to victims a lot. You're projecting your own abuse about your father, seeing it directly related to Donald Trump, and thinking that everybody has to feel the same way as you. I'm like, this is the most delusional LinkedIn conversation I've ever had in my whole entire life. So, needless to say,
it's like my daily.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. She was an intelligent woman, but you saw her just get angry. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Cash. My bad.
No, you're all good. So I'm going to drop you guys out because it's been glitchy, all right? I'm going to drop you guys out, and we're going to watch this, and then we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Those sitting at home to focus in on this number 43. This number 43. You want to know what this number represents? This number represents the number of law enforcement officers that have been killed thus far in 2020. 43 law enforcement officers that have been killed thus far in 2020, over 40% more than in the same period in 2019. 8 categorized as premeditated murder. 2 were a victim of unprovoked attacks. 8 fatal shots were fired at point-blank range, 0 to 5 feet from the officer. 8 shot in the front of the head, 2 from the back of the head, 6 in the neck, 9 in the chest. This is 43 law enforcement officers that have lost their lives in 2020. Where's the NBA? Where is the NBA? Where's the Speaker of the House? That's what I want to know. Where's the Speaker of the House condemning 43 law enforcement officers who have been murdered? Are their names on the back of any jerseys? Or is that just for preening and posturing by the true privilege to play sports for a living? These are real people. David Dorn died June 2nd at 2:30 a.m. in the middle of the street after he was shot in the torso while attempting to protect a friend's pawn shop from suspected looters. Dorn had served 38 years in the St. Louis Police Department before retiring. David Patrick Underwood died from gunshot wounds after he was shot from a vehicle on May 29th in Oakland, California. He was working as a contract security officer for Federal Protective Services. According to authorities, the man charged in the murder of Underwood had specifically traveled to Oakland with the intent to kill police. He thought he could get away with it due to the large protest gatherings. Sergeant Damon Gutzwiller was investigating a suspicious vehicle linked to this case when he too was killed after being ambushed with explosive devices and an assault rifle. He had served the Santa Cruz County community since 2006. Shay Michelonis, a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police officer, was seriously injured after being shot in the head while attempting to disperse protesters in June. This week, we've already alluded to it, 2 LA County Sheriff deputies were sitting in their vehicle when they were ambushed and shot. Ambushed and shot in the streets of Los Angeles. The deputies, a 31-year-old mother and a 24-year-old man, were transported to a local hospital, and while fighting for their lives, a group of protesters arrived at the hospital and shouted, "We hope they die." This is what is happening on the streets of America right now, and it is being fomented by our so-called national leaders. Again, I'd like to say, where is the people's house? Going out for a fundraiser? Having a nice dinner here in Washington, D.C. right now? Getting a steak dinner with somebody? Patting each other on the back? Where are they? You hear the echo of my voice? It's echoing for a reason. This chamber is empty, with the exception of 1 or 2 colleagues. Where's the Speaker? It's almost like that book, Where's Waldo? Where's the Speaker? Let's walk around Washington, D.C. Let's go try to find the Speaker. Because she's sure as heck not here right now on the floor of the House of Representatives leading this body. We're sure as not having any votes right now. We're not having amendments. We're not having any debate. 43 dead law enforcement officers.
Mm.
43, bro.
Who's been exterminated?
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
That number is actually really low. Somebody sent me a different statistic. It's actually total line of duty deaths this year so far is actually 203 if you include all the different factors, including 9/11 related cancer, which has 4. COVID-19 has 112 to this point that have been diagnosed with it and passed away from it. You've got 35 gunfire, 4 gunfire inadvertent, heart attack, and then here's some of the other ones that are more murder, but struck by vehicle 7, vehicle pursuit 2, and vehicular assault 10. So we're even over the 43 now. It just keeps escalating, and all the different stuff that they do that leads to these deaths.
And you know what the most surprising number, one of those numbers, obviously the COVID is tragic, but they're peace officers. They're going to go out there. They're public servants. They're going to keep doing their job and try to protect the public no matter what. But you know what? And this happens in a lot of states, unfortunately. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. It's blue states. It is what I'm about to say. It is blue states. Most blue states have banned police officers from being able to fire at a vehicle while it's moving at them. They stopped that in response to protest and riots. It was political pressure because a couple incidents, you know where I'm trying to say, they fired through the windshield, killing the person who was trying to kill them with a car. But for some reason, in a lot of these blue states, they don't view cars. So that's 10 officers killed that didn't have to die if they were allowed to treat a car as a deadly weapon, which it clearly is because it's killed 10 police officers. So I just wanted to make that a point of that.
Yep.
So
Yeah. I don't. This shit's sickening to me. I'm sorry. It's all just sickening as hell to me. All the stuff that's going on, and people don't even care. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst part about it is people don't even really care. They're just letting it be what it is, and the left keeps on pushing all this bullshit in our face about all these criminals that end up getting shot by the police, but there's no outrage for the people that are actually heroic in their day-to-day jobs and the things that they do for our country, for us as people, as citizens, and they get demonized and don't get talked about when anything negative happens to them. No one stands up and says anything about them, to where police are really like a lot of them don't even want to be cops no more, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because of all the stories that are coming out of people that are thinking about quitting their job just because they're being targeted now. You know what I'm saying? Cops getting killed.
And they don't get the money that the criminals get when the cop kills them. Cops get $12 million. A cop gets a funeral.
They don't even get the money that a NBA player gets that comes out and further bashes them.
There's this guy I follow. He's a black conservative as well, or I don't know necessarily know he's conservative, but he can't stand BLM, or he loves cops. He backs the blue. And he said it's called the hood lottery. That's his words, not mine. He's an African American. He says, listen, he goes, nowadays, if a white cop shoots a black person, it's like that their families hit the hood lottery. And I mean, that's $12 million.
They gave incentive, and that's the thing. People don't look at it like that, man, but they gave incentive for a person to want to go and commit a crime on purpose to get the police to come and shoot them so their family could be well off.
I mean, there's a number that also I think needs to be brought into that number of which I think he said 200. Anthony said 206. I would be interested in a study being done after all this rioting is stopped, all this demonizing of police is stopped, of how much of an increase in police suicide is as a result of what these men, women have been put through over these last 4 years. I mean, actually, if we go 2014, it really didn't crank up. 2016 is really when it really started popping off. Yet, I'd be interested to see how many suicide police kill themselves because of the. I mean, can you imagine standing there for hours on end, being called, these horrible names, being spit on, and then you have to go home to your family?
That's why I think there should be. I really do believe there should be a class action lawsuit against mainstream media. If that one kid from that was on the steps could sue CNN, why cannot these police officers' families sue and say they have created a playing field that police are so demonized that's why my husband, my wife, my family member was killed, because people think that there's this false narrative is truth. So why can they not get a class action lawsuit to actually sue the media?
I believe they actually could. And the kid won, didn't he? Did they settle with him? Yeah, he won. They settled with him for like millions.
It was in Massachusetts that just made it a crime, a hate crime, to mess with the police or any first responders because of them being a first responder or a police officer. They made it a hate crime if they do anything to them.
Yeah.
So they need to make that like nationwide.
Well, Florida just followed suit because I was just watching it right live as it was happening right now. Florida governor and all the police were standing together, and he said they are putting forth legislation right now to make it felonies for anyone who participate, whether you're a marcher, you started as a marcher and it turned into right. He's like, we do not care anymore. He goes, if you're out there when this is going on, you will be arrested and you will be charged with third-degree felonies. If you put your hands on a cop, we are putting forth legislator or a first responder general, and it will be labeled as a hate crime if it's done while a riot is taking place. He's like, we're done here in Florida. He's like, we're done. Now, mind you, Florida has done a great job. I mean, they've done a great job compared to a lot of these other cities. He's like, that's why I love this governor. He's like, but I want more. He goes, this is going to be the most comprehensive anti-looting, anti-rioting. I had to shut off to come on your show, but he was they're digging in their heels and being like, no, you ain't doing this, and you're not doing this in Florida. You know what I mean? And the state troopers are behind them, the sheriff's officers, the local police departments. I mean, there was tons of, and this governor, he's like, I'm not going to become, my legacy is not going to be this rioting and looting. It's not. And I think that's what a lot of these politicians forget is this is their damn legacy. They're leaving. Their legacy is nothing but chaos and ruin. and they're proud of it.
I'm telling you, I really got a strong feeling because of people like the one I'm about to show you right now. This person that's about to come up on the screen. I'm about to show this video right now. Because of people like her, because of people like Biden, because of people like Pelosi, because of the mayor that took a walk of shame out of his own city after he was out there dancing with them and supporting everything.
I saw that, yeah.
Because of them, the Democratic Party is a dying breed. They are dying. They're dying out. The Democrats are going to be no more. Either there's going to be no more Democrat, or they're going to revamp and relook at the Democratic Party and reshape it, because the way that it sits right now, they're to me, they're an enemy of America. I would go as far as to say that the far left, not Democrat, I don't want to say Democrat, the far left Democrat is an enemy of America and its policies and its stance on certain things. It's not even just an enemy of America, it's an enemy of humans. It's an enemy of God, literally. Like they're too radical, man.
Well, I think it's dangerous, and I think we had this conversation with Shelly last night. We were talking to her. The logic, even if you base it, and I had a conversation that was on my page with where I showed the screenshot of the rolling conversation, which turned out to be very, very positive. That's why I shared it. Is no matter what pain you felt as a Black man in your life from what has happened to you from the police and all these different things, the method that we are going about it, even if you fully believe that it is this big problem, creates it's not venting and it's not creating emotion for the purposes of change. It actually makes it worse, because what's going to happen is good police officers, the logic, good police officers are going to quit because it's dangerous. They're going to say, I have a child, I have family members. So who right now is going to end up joining the police force? And there's no way, if you're delusional, if you think that they're just going to get rid of police. So police are always going to be there. Who right now is willing to step up and be a police officer? A person that is willing to be a bully, a person that is going to be cantankerous, somebody that wants to fight, somebody that wants to be a tough guy. And those are the exact people that they don't want in the police force. And the method that they're going about the protesting, not even on the violent riots, but the way that they spit and yell at police officers is going to create people that go, you know what, spit in my face, see what happens.
Yep.
That's who's going to be the future of our policing. So they're not looking at cause and effect of their logic.
Right. I agree with that 100%.
It's a damn shame, bro. It's a damn shame. And I know I got a lot of people that are watching right now that happen to be Democrats. Look, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the party in itself. The people that are there right now that's been in politics for a very long time, that have started out like a JFK and ended up like a Hitler. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. A lot of people that I know that were Democrats like myself, have left. They're leaving. They don't even consider themselves to be, and this is the thing. What did they say? They said, I'm not leaving the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me.
They left a long time ago.
They changed. It wasn't, the people are not, the people that are Democrats, they're regular Americans like you and me. And they're even seeing that this is getting way out of hand. They're doing some real, they're calling for people to be radical, and then they're changing up the way America's supposed to be, and the things that we stood on, the things that our forefathers put in place for us to be a great nation, to be a pillar to the world of freedom, of democracy. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible. So I'm gonna pull up this next clip right now, and we're moving into talking about our RBG. Is that what it is? RBG?
RBG. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes. This is AOC. All right. So let's bring her in real quick. Wrong one. Hold on, guys.
And I just looked this up because I wanted to see this, but I wanted to mention this. When you're talking about walk away, hashtag walk away, do it now, save yourself. There's whenever civil rights leaders who are known in the Black community for being civil rights leaders and Democrat, Leo Terrell, he actually said exactly what you said. I remember watching his video the other day, and he said, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me years ago, and I'm walking away. And this is a civil rights leader. If that doesn't tell you about the state that the Democratic Party is in right now, nothing does.
I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, here we go. There's that clown. There she is.
But we're going to go ahead and listen to her.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you guys hear?
Yeah. What now? What do we do? I'm scared. This vacancy on the board is extremely significant. It's just it's earth shattering. And this kind of tipping point is the difference between people having reproductive rights and the government controlling people's bodies for them. This kind of difference, this kind of vacancy makes the difference between LGBT people having marriage equality and full rights is the difference between us having health care and not. It's the difference between us having a future in our climate and not. And the timing of this vacancy is extremely unsettling. Now, this moment is not the time for despair. One of the most common questions that I get is, what do I do? First of all, I need everyone to go online right now and check your voter registration. That's what I need you to do. I don't care if you already think you're registered. I don't care if you think you're good. You need to go online and check your voter registration to make sure it's still good and make sure you vote. The other thing that I think we need you to do is to organize. You need to organize your community, or if you haven't done that before, lay back and look at the people who are already organizing in your community. I promise you they exist. This moment right now requires all of us to do more and be better. And listen, I know you're tired. I'm tired. I got this news. I was driving up back to the Bronx from DC today, hit crazy traffic. It's been an insane week. It's been an insane year. 2020, what's going on? I got bags under my eyes. I know you have bags under your eyes. We're all tired, but that's how authoritarianism works. This is how authoritarianism works, to wear you down until you give in. And right now, what we need to do is never give in.
That wasn't the right video where she was calling them. They took clips out. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Clips. They took out the part where she says, I'm calling on you guys because right now,
shocking,
you guys to
what did I just watch?
I need you to be vigilant and I need you to be ready to respond, and I need you to be ready to be radical. That's what she said.
Does she, Anthony, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think she knows what the definition of authoritarianism is.
No.
I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure AOC has no clue what she's talking about when she's claiming she lives. The fact, hey AOC, the fact that you have an Instagram and can talk about a sitting president of the United States,
it's not authoritarianism.
It is not authoritarianism. I'm just putting that out there for you.
Can we ask AOC, would she like her authoritarianism shaken or stirred?
Right.
Bartender joke.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah. I mean, that's where she's headed as soon as this.
She's got a following, man. She's
huge following. Her Instagram blows the hell up.
It's funny how much the Democratic Party hates her too, though. Like
they do.
They literally go, "This makes us look worse," because they were literally trying to get rid of her seat. Like they're like, she's not going to lose because she's got people brainwashed to go like, oh, she's going to change the world. So let's get rid of her seat so she doesn't have the opportunity. And they couldn't do it. She is one of those people that, they call the squad, but they're so dangerous to me. They're so, because they have people that believe in their complete. You have bags under your eyes because Donald Trump is the president. That's your issue. No, you have allergies. It's September.
Yeah, I was like, she's like, it's been a tough week. I had my driver, and I was sitting in traffic with my driver. I mean, it was a tough week for all of us, guys. Yeah, granted, you don't have a job, and you're trying to figure out how you pay bills, and people like me are stopping you. We're holding the bill up that can help you get paychecks, but we're all. My latte got cold by the time I got home, folks. It's tough for everyone. We're all suffering.
They're stealing right now because they need bread to feed their families.
Bread to feed their families, folks.
Probably because they couldn't get a job because you took 25,000 jobs away by scaring Amazon away.
Oh wait, you mean to say that if Amazon had been there, they would have had like 25,000 jobs? But the tax cuts, wait, you mean the tax breaks they were going to give Amazon for coming to the? I think Cash, did we talk about this earlier? So
Yes,
wait, let me see if I got this right. You mean the tax cuts that they were going to give Amazon for coming into the city were far less than what the value that a company was going to bring to that area?
Yeah, and what company has grown during COVID? Amazon. So they would have had 30,000, 35,000.
I mean, I'm just throwing this out there for you folks. If this is the reason y'all don't have jobs in New York City right now, is because of the same lady you're sitting here giving her little heart emojis on her Instagram. Think about that. You could be making $20, $30, $40 an hour. But she said because of the tax cut, which benefited Amazon, true, but that's so that they could get Amazon to come to that city to be the hub, which would then poured hundreds of millions of dollars into your economy. But no, I get it. Yeah, we're all struggling. We're all struggling, folks. So you 25 NYC residents, we're all struggling. Get it? I mean, she had to like go from a Range Rover down to a freaking
Hummer.
Yeah, I mean, and her driver, instead of being a professional, she had to go down on that too, folks. I mean, everyone's struggling.
Hey, look, let me play this real quick, guys. I want you to hear it, and I'll give you guys the floor. All right, so listen to this because what she's about to say. This is how America works, guys. This is exactly how America works. Exactly what she's about to say right now. This is exactly what's supposed to happen because this is how America works. We respect dying wishes in politics.
Ready. And I need you to be ready to be responsive. And by that, I mean, we don't quite know what the next play is in terms of this issue on the Supreme Court, right?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Run that back.
Ready.
There you go. That's better.
Ready. And I need you to be ready to be responsive. And by that, I mean, we don't quite know what the next play is in terms of this issue on the Supreme Court, right? Mitch McConnell sent out a statement tonight. And as I said at the opening, the very last dying wish of RBG was that her vacancy not be filled until the new president takes office in January. That was her dying wish. Tonight, Mitch McConnell publicly, the night of her passing, he couldn't wait 24 hours, issued a statement saying that he was going to give Trump a vote in violation of her dying wish. People can say how appalling, people can say this is horrible, etc. But we know who this man is. We know who this man is. This is a man who does not care about a dying woman's final wish.
Hey, real quick. Right before when I first started this, I rewinded it because right before she said that, literally, they took this clip too. Right before she said what she said right now, that's when she told people she needs them to be radical. They took that clip out. They took it out because they don't want nobody to hear her say that right before she told them, I need you to be ready. I need you to be ready to be responsive. Listen.
So that's the typical Democratic response, though, or I'm not going to say that. It's the typical snowflake response that there's something emotionally going on in your life. Let's not go to work.
Right. Because I'm trying to remember, and I know Cash already asked you, but I'll ask you, Anthony. Where in the and I don't know, maybe I did ask you because I'm saying this a lot lately because that's people's response to everything I say about RBG. I'm like, where in the Constitution is there a dying wish clause? If you can point that out to me, I would agree with you. And good for Mitch McConnell before 4 hours. Well, listen, the government does not stop because someone dies. This country needs to move forward.
I'm honestly consistent in the fact that I'm actually not a fan of the way that we've done this as a government forever. But fact is, we've done it forever. I think in anything in the last year could be pushed, but this whole thing of it was her dying wish. And before you finish this clip, this was such a political ploy because one thing about Ruth Bader Ginsburg is the one thing she always talked about is she doesn't attack other people. She attacks ideologies. And what she stood for is the Constitution and government and work. Like she worked. She was a workhorse. In what world would this woman, who was very true to every word that she said, stand up for breaking the Constitution for her death? I just don't believe that.
Agreed. She also spoke out when Obama appointed his. That's the thing people aren't, and that's why it blows my mind. She actually said, no, this is the way that it works. He's not doing anything wrong by appointing the next one in line. Okay? And then all of a sudden she switches how she is and says, oh, it's my dying wish. Don't pick one until after the president.
No way.
It doesn't make sense. I would think that she would be talking to her family, being like, yo, I love you guys. Why would she make a political ploy her last words? It doesn't make sense. They're lying like they always do. Let's finish this video.
Allegedly.
So,
yeah. Don't fact check me.
We need to size up what we are up against. And what we are up against is a profoundly corrupt.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, God.
Oh, hell.
Make it stop.
That was too perfect. That was too perfect. A profoundly corrupt. There goes Biden. Doop. Drunk Biden coming into the room. Oh, did someone say corrupt?
That was
Trump would not be able to do any of the things, almost any of the things that he has done. If it wasn't for an entire Republican apparatus that allows him, that defends him, and that propels him. So this isn't just about Trump, and that's why I talk about that this presidential election is not the end of this. This presidential election is just the tip of this, because Trump would not have been able to do these things if a Republican Senate didn't protect him, advance him, and allow him to do these things.
Follow the Constitution.
So this is on every Republican's hands right now. And so when I say the last thing I want you to do is be ready, what I mean is, listen, Mitch McConnell's ready. He's ready. He wants to jam through a nominee.
Oh, look at this. She's not married.
In 2016, he blocked Obama from getting his Supreme Court nominee in his final year, and with Merrick Garland, and Mitch McConnell. He said, "Oh, we can't do this in a president's final year. We need to let people have their say." You think he cares about that now? No, he doesn't care about that now.
She's a liar.
He cares about power. These people do not care about democracy. They do not care about fairness. They do not care about equality. They do not care about justice. They care about power, and they care about money. And they care about making more money. They don't care who dies.
It's the American dream,
they don't
baby.
care whose rights get
I love
violated.
capitalism.
And that's why we need to show up. So I need you to be ready. Because what that means is that we need to be ready to organize. We need to be ready to follow grassroots leaders on the ground. And it's not just about listening to me. It's about listening to people who have been doing this work for generations as well. But everyone has something to give. And again, I know we're all tired.
I'm done. I can't even listen.
Let me just say one thing, Cash, and I'll be quiet, man. I'm done hurt. I could go on AOC forever because I followed her from day one.
In on that ass right now.
You know what the funniest thing about her is? She keeps talking about grassroots and we.
You're about to say what I was about to say. Say it.
We need to get on the ground floor and do this. Y'all realize she's saying this from the top of her Manhattan apartment, right?
Yes.
Y'all understand that blazer she's wearing probably costs $2,000.
Think about that. Which grassroots movement is she talking about?
Exactly. Here's the thing. This has nothing to do. This right here. She wants you disenfranchised. Listen, if you're out here, you're listening, you're a fan of AOC. She is enslaving you. She's one of the enslavers I talk about. She wants you to remain disenfranchised. She wants you to remain on the streets, rioting and marching and all this stuff and not going back. You know why? It's because people like her are the ones that keep you disenfranchised. If I'm lying, then why would she not? You know what you should be writing about? You know what you should be going insane about? Is what we were just talking about. The fact that she scared Amazon away. $25,000 and $35,000 job, 35,000 jobs away from you. You should be writing about that. But no, we're going to just keep believing the rhetoric that's spit to us on these grassroots.
You see what she panders to?
Yeah.
Oh, we want equality. And they just want to get the LGBTQ community to be all messed up or whatever the hell she said. But she's pandering. They pander to black people. They pander to people of homosexual orientation. They pander to them because they know that if they don't get them votes, they're not going to get no patriot.
Right.
They're never going to get a patriot vote. They're not going to get a true American vote. So not that any other people are not true American because you're gay or because you're black or because of whatever. That's not what I mean. But what I'm trying to say is if you have something outside of being a patriot, right? Say you're a homosexual and you're a patriot. And then they tell you, well, Trump supports patriots and you like Trump because he supports patriots, but Trump doesn't support the LGBTQ community or your right to get married. Then that'll take you from being a patriot to more leaning towards the side of your beliefs of sexual orientation. Right. So they pander to that and get you scared and being like, oh, well, we're not going to be able to get married we're not going to be able to call ourselves whatever we want to call ourselves because Trump's going to be in office, which is not the case. Trump is the only president that ever came into the presidency supporting gay rights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't care what nobody wants to do with who they want to do.
I don't give a shit what you do in your bedroom.
Yeah, do what you do, man. That's for you. You know what I'm saying? But don't let these people play you into being scared, which will cause your vote to switch. You know what I'm saying? And the black community, what they do. Oh, well, you're they don't want you to not get killed by police, so vote for Biden. He wants you to not get killed by police so he can lock your ass up. That's what he wants. He don't want it. A dead one ain't no good to him. He needs a live one that he could throw in jail, along with his running mate, Kamala Harris. This is all they do. It's pander. Get behind your grassroots movements. I mean, BLM. Get behind them. We need you on the ground, burning shit down, out in your community. Forget your jobs. You don't need them. Burn the place down where you could potentially work at. Doesn't matter. And defund the police because they're going to kill you. And then without them, you can kill each other.
You mean, wait. So you mean to tell me, this sounds like you're crazy talking here. So you're telling me Biden has him and Kamala Harris combined probably have put more black men in prison than any other person or people in this country have? You mean Trump isn't just throwing people in prison?
Trump did prison reform.
No, he did. Wait.
You know what he did?
Prison reform?
You're not a violent offender. You could come home. Sorry you were selling dope. I hope you learned your lesson. Come on home because you got a way harsher sentence than you were supposed to get.
But you know what? But wait a minute. Wasn't it Trump that said if you vote Democrat, you're not black?
Yeah, he did. No, confusing him.
Wait. Biden said that? Said if you vote Republican, you're not black?
Nope.
Oh my goodness gracious! So that's what I want to find so fun is they want to call Trump this awful racist, right? Biden literally has said some of the most racist things on live TV I have ever heard of. He actually said, if you vote for Trump, you are not black.
Yeah.
People.
Let's pretend that this is an 11-year-old. Okay?
The sounds are creepy alone. This is creepy alone.
All right, I'm being funny now, okay?
And their statistics are always just and like I love they fact check Trump. They're like he was off by 137 when he looked at that. Meanwhile, earlier today or yesterday, whenever it was, Biden said 200 million people died from COVID.
Right.
Like, well, he just made a mistake. It's no big deal.
Didn't fact check.
He did. He's just like he said 100 and something million the other day. Like I can't do it.
Right.
I can't.
Well, I mean, you could clearly see there's something. I mean, okay, so I
know
we
on
don't.
a decline, guys.
Huh?
He's on a decline.
I mean, look, he said. I was watching an interview.
The bottom of the hill.
Yeah, he was doing with a guy from USA Today.
Martin just as bright as white kids.
That was 3 years ago.
He actually said in a live interview when the guy asked him about his mental capacity. This was probably one of the most racist things I've ever heard someone say. The gentleman that's interviewing me, I think he's British, but he's black. Okay. And the guy says, "So, sir, will you have a test done on your mental capacity? Will you get tested to ensure you're mentally have a mental capacity or whatever?" He looks at this, huh?
Well, will you get tested?
Yeah, he looks at him and says, "Well, what are you? Do you do drugs?" He goes, "Because of the color of your skin, do you do drugs? Will you get tested?" I was like, "This man, someone come stop this man right now because he is literally burning out. This robot is malfunctioning." I was in shock. And so to me, and I'm a white man, I can't imagine as a voter, I cannot imagine if I was a black man. If I'm this offended as a white man, I can't imagine what, as a black man, what I would feel. But I cannot imagine someone who is African American would vote that man in office. Or Kamala Harris. I mean, she runs foundations to pay bail for Antifa, but then puts other people in jail for way less things than they've actually done.
Hey guys, who's the troll? I see we got a troll, so I keep seeing different stuff.
There was this one guy in here. He was.
I'm trying to find it. There's a lot.
There's a lot, yeah.
There's a whole lot of people commenting right now.
It's probably actually Joe Biden.
It's Damian Sims.
He doesn't actually answer any questions after
Goodbye. Blocking that user.
They saying, he was one of the. I can't remember what he or she couldn't tell from the picture. They were spouting feelings and saying they were facts, and people would be like, "Well, spout your source, tell us your source," and they would just go off on rants and stuff like that. So I mean, they're just here to stir trouble. They're not,
Well, that's
gone. I get it every day. I mean, one of my mods, man, she is like a sniper.
I need one because it's not working for me. There's too many comments.
Yeah, you gotta have mods. You got to. YouTube will shut you down based off just comments that are in your chat.
We got 798 people watching us right now.
You need we have, I think right now 30 mods working for our channel, and you're big, way bigger than us. So I mean, you probably need 40, 50, because what they do is they just come in and they're like, and every now and then you'll get one or two that are just they love it. They live to get in there and knock the shit out of trolls. And so we actually had to slow them down because at one point in a week's time we had 500 banned. I'm like, listen, as long as they're not racist or they're not just coming in, because on my page it's all NFAC and BLM. That's all they comment. NFAC, BLM. I said, don't ban them, because maybe we can debate them.
So guys, we got about a good 10 minutes left on here. We're gonna head out. Okay. We're gonna do our closing statements, but I do want to take a couple questions just like this for the people that have been utilizing the super chat. Thank you so much, man. It is a big support for me. I appreciate you. And some of you guys are saying that you can't use a super chat because it's not set up. You only got Cash App or whatever. I understand. My Cash App I haven't put in the description, but it's, what is it, Anthony? Is it Cash 11/11/1988?
I'll double check.
Yeah, Cash KASH 11/11/1988, and then my PayPal is on my Facebook and my About Me. So that's the only one. I don't got Venmo or none of that stuff yet. So yeah. But Chris says, "What's up, Chris? My brother." He says, "No justice, no peace. A self-fulfilling prophecy that them politicians, far-left activists, and major news outlets slowly brainwash people to believe, followed by defunding police, which leads to no peace." Facts. See, he gets it. Chris is smart as hell. I don't know if you guys know Chris, but he's on Some of All Parts with us, and dude is brilliant.
Well, I mean, clearly, because the thing is it just fulfills a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a vicious cycle. You want to defund the police. So you're out committing riots, right? To defund the police because police are killing everybody. So I'm gonna go out there and riot. You get arrested by police, put in the system. You get out. Police get defunded. Crime. So now the richer areas, they will then pay for, like is happening in New York City right now. The Manhattan, they have private security teams. But the rich people ain't worried about it. They hire their own security firms that go out and police their buildings, do this. So where does the crime go? To the poor areas where the defunding of police is more effective. So then now the criminals are caught by these police, probably beaten, probably shot because there's going to be a fight. You're in high crime areas. Someone's going to get shot. So the endless cycle just keeps going round and round and round. It's a carousel. And how do you stop that? You don't do that by defunding the police. You take that $1.5 billion you took away from them and you reallocate it within the police department for better training in certain situations. Now, every cop shooting I've seen so far this year, every one of them, not one of them has I seen to me was questionable. Not one. Literally every single one of them has been clear. Even the Jacob Blake one.
That's how don't get me started on that guy. They got me banned 3 times because of that freaking.
I mean, everyone I've seen this year. Now, you know, have there been suspicious? And the one that keeps getting brought up to me is from 2016, where the cop shot the guy in the back of the park, and you know, he put a taser on him. I'm like, yes, you're using one case. We're not in that 2016. We're 4 years later, 2020. Now y'all can't use defund the police for something that happened, you know, 4 years ago. Y'all are screaming for defund the police for the shit that's going on now. And every police shooting that I've seen where video has been released, that video was available, has been justified. I'm going to say it now. Every single one that I've seen. I have not seen one yet where I'm like,
I agree.
You know, even Jacob Blake, I believe that was 100% justified. It was a violent felon. He was wanted on, he had a warrant out for sexual abuse 3, which was, and I've read the story on that, very, very violent assault.
Allegedly, even though
allegedly is, but it's still warrant. I mean, so the warrant's not alleged. He does have a warrant out. He did have
allegedly when it comes to our Facebooks.
That's true. Everything's allegedly. It was allegedly a very violent, vicious assault. Well,
he said there was a warrant out. Accounts. There's a warrant out for this offense. It's the same as allegedly. I think it's fair.
Yeah, I think it's a fair. You know, the warrant. They were there to arrest him for that warrant, and he fought him. He got tased multiple times. They did less than lethal. They chased him down. They told him to drop the knife countless times. He didn't. He reached inside a vehicle, was shot. The end of the story.
They allegedly said please too.
Yeah, they allegedly said please. I mean, but what you saw in that Jacob Blake video is actually a very perfect example of what I'm talking about. People feel like they don't have to listen to police anymore. I don't have to listen to you. You ain't my boss. You don't do what I say. Well, no, I am.
It's because the way that the media pushes it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all it is. The way that the media pushes it. Cops got to be on like eggshells now. They're walking on eggshells in every interaction.
Well, look what happened in Tulsa.
Potentially going to try to kill them.
Right. But that's my point. Look, what you guys, I don't know if you've seen the video of the police shooting in Tulsa. It's violent video. Horrible. I mean, it's, I still hear the screams of the police officers. One died. One was critically injured. Okay.
And people's response to that wasn't, "Oh my God, now I get it." They go, "Oh, do you see how gentle they were?" With
look, if that had been a black man, they would have shot him. I'm like, what are you talking about? They tried everything. Yeah. They didn't get a chance to shoot him because they were hesitant. They don't want to get painted as the bad guys anymore. Even with whites, they are not. And let's be clear, folks, for all you that are using that, I am the one. I am 2 times as likely to be shot by a police officer than a black man is. Cash, am I wrong or right?
And me, check this thing out. I'm black and white, so I'm double.
You're double
to get it.
You know what I'm saying? So if we're going to talk, if you want to talk facts, if you want to talk real issues in this country, let's talk about the fact that a cop is 18 and a half times more likely to be shot by a black man than anyone else is. So now you're taking that statistics, 18 and a half times more likely. Okay. Now he's on edge, right? Because he knows he's not going to pull his gun. He's probably not going to do it. That's why we have seen a 40+% increase in police shootings in this country right now, and police murders, because they're scared to pull their guns anymore.
I got one thing I got to say, and then we got to let Anthony.
Okay, yeah, sorry, Anthony.
Did you know this is a statistic right now that you can fact check, but it's alleged. Did you know that if you are the age of 9 to 12 years old and you are at a press conference with the Biden, there's like a 99% chance that you get sniffed and your head petted?
I did not know that, but I will. I believe it, and I'm not even going to fact check it.
Horrible statistic. Anthony, go ahead, bro. Say your closing.
Can you imagine if Biden was a WWE fan and he was watching The Rock, when The Rock would say, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" Biden's like,
"Where are your kids? Where are your kids? Bring them in. Bring them out. Bring them out. Let me smell."
So everybody out there saying that I'm yawning and I look tired, I am. I was driving around with Cash yesterday after not getting any sleep. So I've had a cumulative about 6 hours of sleep and driven approximately in the neighborhood of 2,000 miles in the last 2.5 days. So I apologize for the yawning. I have not slept anywhere. This is,
hair looks great. Hair looks great.
It does.
It's good lighting. It actually looks full instead of bald.
I like the beard.
With that said, guys, the thing that I want to say with the political shit with everything, they're politicizing RBG, and you watch it, and here's the deal. both sides are equally guilty whenever it's their opportunity to
Absolutely.
make this decision. Because I keep seeing people sharing the comments of all of these Republican policymakers and government in 2016 saying, look at how they flip-flopped. I'm going to tell you, in 2016, the Democrats were doing the exact same thing. That's not letting anybody off the hook, because you kind of have to, if you're going to do one way, you do it the other. And there's people saying the excuse, well, this is a different era. They force-fed an impeachment, and that could be your sticking point. Mine is the fact that I stick with whatever my belief system is, which is you really can't. I don't like the idea, but fact is, 29 times in a row, this is the 30th. It's going to happen again this time. And if there was one that you would argue is more important, because both sides have already said if the election isn't perfect, they're going to contest it.
Right.
The only deciding factor then becomes the Supreme Court, and to have 4-4 is very dangerous. So is it more important than usual right now? Yes. Do I still think it's shitty? Yes. But fact is, both sides do it. So stop dividing people on your social media by posting all these Republican policymakers saying these things in 2016. Both sides do it. But nobody louder than Biden, by the way. Biden used to say, he had a speech of him screaming, a lame duck president. This is in the 90s or 80s or 90s.
I remember that speech.
There should never be a lame duck president that has a right to decide the next Supreme Court justice. And where was he in 2016?
Right.
He was fluffing Obama, saying, who are we going to put in there? Mr. Obama? So it's whoever is in control at the time. And it's all politics, which is why politics suck. So be kind to the people that don't feel the same way as you and stop being a dickhead. Besides that, have a great day.
I love it.
Hi, my brother. Michelle, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Straight up. And there's no problem. That's what we're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Speaking out against all corruption. And that's what puts me and Russo and Viking in a different position, because we're not picking and choosing what side we're going to talk about on what's bad. We're going to talk about all the bad from all sides, whether it be a bad cop or an asshole civilian, whether it be a good or a crooked politician or a crooked nurse, whatever. We're going to talk about the corruption on all sides. We're not picking and choosing. We're not just saying, yo, we support this blindly. No, we're for America. We're patriots. Patriots mean we stand for America and the good of America and against the corruption of America in all ways. So, Viking, what you got for him?
Hey man, listen, and I say this all the time on my YouTube channel, now my Facebook channel, now that that's back up again and running, thank goodness. This country right now is clearly divided. It's clearly divided, and you have those that believe, and it's not Republican Democrat anymore. And I see it everywhere I go. I believe generally this country is divided: those who love this country and those who do not love this country. You cannot say you love this country while burning a flag. You can't do that. Okay, it's clear as day. The guy I had on my interview today said he doesn't even identify as an American. I mean, he said it clear as day. So you cannot say that this country is divided by party lines. You have patriots in this country, and you have those who hate this country. The ones who hate this country, unfortunately, right now, and I say this all the time, is they have the power because they are paying the foot in the bill. BLM hates this country. They're footing the bill. I mean, I did a whole video series on this today of them and their relationship with the Venezuelan dictator, and how can you say you hate oppression, and meanwhile you are openly supporting someone who murders people if they want a democracy. Okay, exactly. This is what you have to research, folks. You cannot just sit back and say, well, yeah, of course Black Lives Matter. No one is saying Black Lives does not matter. What I'm saying is these organizations that are funneling. Did you know that Black Lives Matter is not an actual nonprofit?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they are not a nonprofit, folks. They are actually labeled as a corporation. They run their company through a nonprofit that is a 501(c)(3). That's why they're able to take all that. Because I was wondering why I could not find any of their tax-exempt tax records. I've only been able to find one. It was from 2018, and it wasn't tax-exempt on it. Well, I did my research and found out it's from an organization. They run their money, all of their money, through an organization called 1,000 Hands or something like that. Now, I'm not going to get into all that, but that's what you need to know, folks. This corporation, not a charity, not a nonprofit, this corporation literally profits on your life now, for real. Yep. It's not even me saying that. That's what corporations do. They're in it for profit. They're profiting on you while they divide this country in half. So you have to make a decision. Are you actually going to start researching what you're being told in the media, or are you just going to believe it blindly and keep towing the line? But I'm a bit firm believer in all these people that have walked away. The reason they walked away is because of people like you, Cash, people like me, not being scared to say the truth, and them actually researching things.
You're damn right.
So if you really want to be educated on what's going on in this world, folks, and don't take it from me, don't take it from Cash, go out there and research it yourself. Because I was trying, I did not know that BLM was an actual corporation until a couple of days ago, when I said, okay, I want to see their money. I want to know you cannot find it, folks. And the reason you could not find it is because they go through an organization called, I think it's called 1,000. It's 1,000 something. And then when you go through that 501(c) and see the connections between them and the big company, Act Blue and all this, it's shady as hell. Very, very shady.
Well, I think we should. I really do. I think we should just get a whole bunch of research together and do a show of just pure information.
Just exposing it.
We're not even going to share our feelings or our opinions about any of it. We're just going to present straight up facts.
Well, shit. That's what I will, because I know you're real busy. You're traveling. I will pull together everything I can find on any company that donates to BLM. They're any public records I can find on them, any public records I can find on the 1,000 Hands Company. I'll pull it all together. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And then you and I will do a show on it, just exposing the hell. Just follow the money, folks.
And just so everybody knows, man, if you have not already, please go over to the Angry Viking on YouTube, follow him there, and then follow him on Facebook. I'll be sharing his stuff on my Facebook a lot more, so you guys, it'll be easy for you to find him. This dude he's a white me.
And my man Cash is a black Viking.
Damn right. Black Viking. I like that. I like that. You got that on my blood, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I might be. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it,
man. The Black Viking, man. That's my nickname for you from here on in, man. You're the Black Viking. And you're tough sales, man. So you got to be.
Straight the fuck up. You're Thor in my book.
I appreciate you, brother.
My phone under Thor.
Do you really?
I'm
changing your number right now to Black Viking. That's happening. Well, listen, man, you know I love you. And for anyone on here that follows me, make sure you click Cash's subscribe bell. Make sure you see all of his stuff and go to his pages. This right here is the beginning, folks. We're trying to make big moves here to change this country, and it all starts with you guys. So make sure you subscribe to both our channels, subscribe to both our Facebooks, because the only way voice gets heard is for y'all sharing it. So thank you guys for doing that.
Yo, I appreciate everybody for tuning in today, and also go over to Anthony's page, Be the Change. Yes. Follow him there, man. Check out Anthony. He's a part of what we got going on too, and we've created our own Avengers. You can call it the Justice League if you want, but that's DC. But I like the Avengers better because the conservative Avengers, Conservengers. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
You got my man Thor right there. Anthony is Tony Stark. You know what I'm saying? Iron Man. Me, I'm Captain America.
Captain America.
You know what I'm saying? So, guys, I love y'all. Unite.
Love you too, brother.
Be a street light, because only you could be the change that you want to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, and tune in with us every time we go live. Click that bell icon so you never miss another upload. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are signing out. Yo, peace out, my brother.
I love you, brother. Have a good one, Cash. Hey, they love Black Viking. Look at these comments. They're loving that shit.
Black Viking, baby.
I'll see you later, brother. See you later, brother.
Peace.
These videos are simply wonderful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification